Hello, fellow heirs, and welcome back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading through the book of Genesis. And today we will be reading the 44th chapter in Genesis. So without any further ado, let's start reading. When his brothers were ready to leave, Joseph gave these instructions to the palace manager. Fill each of their sacks with as much grain as they can carry, and put each man's money back into his sack. Then put my personal silver cup at the top of the youngest brother's sack, along with the money for his grain. So the manager did as Joseph instructed him. The brothers were up at dawn and were sent on their journey with their loaded donkeys. But when they had gone only a short distance and were barely out of the city, Joseph said to the palace manager, "Chase after them and stop them. When you catch up with them, ask them, 'Why have you repaid my kindness with such evil? Why have you stolen my master's cup, which he uses to predict the future? What a wicked thing you have done.'" When the palace manager caught up with the man, he spoke to them as he had been instructed. "What are you talking about?" the brothers responded. "We are your servants and would never do such a thing. Didn't we return the money we found in our sacks? We brought it back all the way from the land of Canaan. Why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If you find his cup with any of us, let that man die, and all the rest of us, my lord, will be your slaves." "That's fair," the man replied, "but only the one who stole the cup will be my slave. The rest of you may go free." They all quickly took their sacks from the backs of their donkeys and opened them. The palace manager searched the brothers' sack from the oldest to the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. When the brothers saw this, they tore their clothing in despair. Then they loaded their donkeys again and returned to the city. Joseph was still in his palace when Judah and his brothers arrived, and they fell to the ground before him. "What have you done?" Joseph demanded. "Don't you know that a man like me can predict the future?" Judah answered, "Oh my Lord, what can we say to you? How can we explain this? How can we prove our innocence? God is punishing us for our sin. My Lord, we have all returned to be your slaves, all of us, not just our brother who had your cup in his sack." "No," Joseph said, "I would never do such a thing. Only the man who stole the cup will be my slave. The rest of you may go back to his father in peace." Judah speaks for his brothers. Then Judah stepped forward and said, "Please, my Lord, let your servant say just one word to you. Please do not be angry with me, even though you are as powerful as Pharaoh himself. My Lord, previously you asked us, your servants, 'Do you have a father or a brother?' And we responded, 'Yes, my Lord, we have a father who is an old man, and his youngest son is a child of his old age. His full brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother's children, and his father loves him very much. And you said to us, bring him here so I can see him with my own eyes. But we said to you, my Lord, the boy cannot leave his father, for his father would die. But you told us, unless your youngest brother come with you, you will never see my face again. So we returned to your servant, our father, and told him what you had said. Later when he said, go back again and buy us some more food, we replied, we can't go unless you let our youngest brother go with us. We'll never get to see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Then my father said to us, as you know, my wife had 2 sons, and one of them went away and never returned. Doubtless, he was torn to pieces by some wild animal. I have never seen him since. Now, if you take his brother away from me, and any harm come to him, you will send this grieving white-haired man to his grave. Now, my Lord, I cannot go back to my father without the boy. Our father's life is bound up in this boy's life. If he sees that the boy is not with us, our father will die. We, your servants, will indeed be responsible for sending that grieving white-haired man to his grave. My Lord, I guaranteed to my father that I would take care of the boy. I told him, if I don't bring him back to you, I will bear the blame forever. So please, my Lord, let me stay here as a slave instead of the boy, and let the boy return with his brothers. For how can I return to my father if the boy is not with me? I couldn't bear to see the anguish this would cause my father. And that concludes the chapter of Genesis 44 in the NLT version. And I'm just thinking about, how Joseph, I think he was just toying with them. He was just toying with them. I think he could have been more harsh. And this is why I say that he forgave him. Because I feel like he could have been more harsh, but Joseph didn't want to go against God. He didn't want to go against God. He could have told them when they came there for food, and he knew exactly who they were. He could have told them, no, I'm not giving y'all any food. But instead, he gave them some food, but then he started messing with them by putting the money back in their sacks and asking them to bring the youngest brother. And so it's just very curious. It's just very interesting to watch from this view, because we can see how things have played out very quickly. We're not going through months and years and stuff like they probably were going through, traveling a long distance. We can see quickly within a few verses how things turned out. And so it's just very interesting that Joseph is toying with people, but I don't think we should do that. I mean, that's just my perspective. It may not be sinning against God, but it is to me kind of like getting back at people to some extent. So I wouldn't want to mess with that, because who knows when things may go sideways. You're trying to just mess with people a little bit. I'm not going to sin. I'm just going to mess with them a little bit, and things go sideways. So I wouldn't think that would be wise to mess with people. If someone do you wrong, forgive them. You may not be able to have a relationship with them going forward, depending on if they are continuing down that path of doing you wrong or put you in horrible situations. So you may have to separate yourself from that person, but you still can forgive them, and you can have you may be able to have a long distance relationship, or just a hey and bye type relationship, a cordial relationship. But it's just interesting how Joseph was doing his brother. I really think he was just messing with him. He was just toying with him. So without any further ado, I'm going to end this video. Please, please, please let me know your thoughts and what you thought on chapter 44. Put it in the description below. Maybe the Lord is showing you something else. But I do think that he forgave his brothers. But I just think he just wanted to poke fun at them and mess with them a little bit, make them go through a little anguish because of what they did to him. He just wanted to poke fun at him. So without any further ado, I'm going to leave it right here. Thank you so much for listening to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, and have a blessed day. Bye.